I'm Kenyon, the upholstery manager here at Sport & Specialty, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about these 356C Porsche seats that we completely custom reupholstered. These started completely original, but it was a barn find that had sat for about 50 years. So they're in a little bit rough shape, but fortunately I had really good patterns to work from. So where we started was a complete teardown to the frame. All the metal was blasted and repainted. Any wood that needed to be repaired was repaired. All new burlap. Basically, it was very foundationally rebuilt from scratch. When I was at the foam stage of this, I originally tried to keep the original horsehair foam. It was actually in surprisingly good shape, but when I started to test fit the covers, it just wasn't looking quite right for what we were doing with the build, so I ended up redoing all custom foam. We got rid of the horsehair, and it's got a modern foam base, which it helped give it the crisp look that it has. Once we had the foam redone, then we started thinking about how we wanted to redesign the seats, staying true to the original Porsche design and the era, but maybe modernizing it a little bit and making them a little bit more sleeker. These originally had piping that came all along the bolsters, so we decided to get rid of that. I took the original shapes of the patterns and just made everything a little bit more sleeker and a little bit nicer fitting. So a big goal was just to make sure there wasn't a single wrinkle or overly stretched spot in the entire seat. So that was a big part of the time we put into the patterning work, was just to make sure that the leather is going to lay even more perfect than it does originally on these seats. And then we added the tartan inserts. And in the Porsche 356, the lines run from front to back. So we didn't want to break that up running any sort of pleating across to the tartan. So we went with the lines that will continue through the back seats and the rear partial shelf. Once we had that all put together and sewn together and we had done the final fitting, in the meantime, all of the metal for the hinges was re-chromed, and this was all carefully reassembled on both sides, and including all new hardware on the inside of the seat. Other challenges with this were really just making sure that this looked perfect from every angle. So a lot of time was just put into the fit of it and making sure the tartan stayed straight and was looking the way that it should. So this is the beginning of what's going to be a really interesting build. We have a lot of interesting material choices that you wouldn't have seen in a original 356C, and some really interesting tones and colors that are going to play off of each other. So I'm excited to share the rest as we keep moving forward with the project.